Decision to head to business school is highly personal. It's about your individual journey. It's your professional and personal development, your sense of purpose. And why not? It's your hopes and your dreams. So helping you to find the right school and the right program is what Centre Court is all about. And with my co-host, John Byrne, we're fortunate to welcome senior leaders from the world's top business schools to share their insights and perspectives, to talk about their institutions, and of course, the MBA student experience. So we explore the why, the how, and the when for business school. And it's always a delight to welcome Naz Aranguk. Naz is the Director of MBA Admissions at the University of Florida, the Warrington College of Business, and a true Gator, as her background indicates. Naz, it's lovely to see you.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure to be back with my friends at Poets and Quants and here at Center Court. It's a wonderful opportunity to learn more about all of the wonderful programs out there, but primarily why it's so important to become a Gator.
Well, I talked about, when is the right time for business school. And perhaps if we think about, a candidate's background, their accomplishments, the present and the experience they'll have in business school, but they're certainly planning for the future. And that's something that you're very focused on, preparing individuals for tomorrow. How does that fit into the MBA program at Warrington?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's important as you think about the why and the when of pursuing an MBA. I'll tell you, there's never a good time, right? Life will always happen. There is always going to be something that will create a roadblock to, your decision to go back to school. And I would say on average, most of our students, whether they're a full-time or a part-time student, they've been out in the workforce for a number of years. So they're juggling, their families, their social lives, their professional growth. And so trying to think about the best time to do an MBA is a hard thing. But I always say there's no better time than now. Why? It's because the sooner you make this investment in yourself, the sooner you'll be able to dive into our curriculum, the sooner you'll be able to start expanding on the professional development opportunities that we invest in our students to be able to do. And the sooner you'll be able to be the future leader that you want to be and start that today. And so it is imperative when you're thinking about an MBA to not think about the perfect time, but now as a time. And as a child of somebody that I had two parents that worked in the College of Business. One was in accounting, one was focused in decision and information operations management. We always had these words, jargons going on in the household, and time value of money is a really important thing. And so that's actually something that I think is a conversation that I continue to bring to the discussion with prospective MBA students, because time value of money, it's important to dive into this now. You'll get your return on investment that much sooner. And so when you think about the majority of our students at the Warrington College of Business, many of them are coming from non-business majors. They don't have any formal business acumen. And so, to start getting that journey of fine-tuning that skill set today, being able to learn more about generative AI and negotiations and the critical thinking and of course the finance and operations supply chain management. These are all really important things that you can start learning almost instantaneously if you join, today, tomorrow, whenever our next term is, so that you can really start exploring not only all of the opportunities for professional growth, but you can really start cultivating who you are as a business leader. And I think that's really the most important part about thinking this is the time to invest in yourself. You're investing in yourself today so that tomorrow you see those returns.
Well, that's a great call to action to start today, all of that potential for tomorrow. And we think about, you talk about generative AI as one example, a continually evolving workforce. So what are some of those elements that you're bringing, personal resilience? You talked about leadership, different skill sets that are then going to prepare individuals. How do you bring that into the classroom, but also into the wider business school experience that they're going to enjoy?
Yeah. So And I could probably say this for most MBA programs out there, but here at the Warrington College of Business, our focal point is collaboration, collaborating with your peers, your other enrolled students, as well as the faculty and the whole staff. And so, so much of an MBA program is about learning not only in the classroom, but it's learning from those that you share this experience with. And we have been intentional about creating both within the curriculum, extracurricular and co-curricular opportunities to really give you that well-rounded education, to make you the Warrington business leader we know you can be. And so that starts with, of course, the foundational business courses. But even in, the very first term, you start understanding about how it is that you can apply what you've learned in your workforce and your professional experience, how that applies to the classroom and how that can be applicable in future scenarios, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? And so, in the classroom, of course, you're going to get the critical thinking skills. You're going to get the basics of the accounting and finance, and and you're going to get all of those things regardless of kind of which MBA program you enroll in. And I think especially if you're choosing an AACSB accredited business school, that curriculum is up to par with what today's industry requirements are. And but beyond that, and I think this is really where Warrington stands out, it's the beyond the classroom experiences that really fine tune that business skill set. We offer things, in fact, just 2 weeks ago, we offered a business improv and storytelling for impact seminar. And it's how do you get yourself out there? How do you have, these quick conversations and think about your elevator pitch to, how you're going to react in a real world setting and how you present yourself. I think that's a really important skill that oftentimes people, they enroll and they're like, oh, do I want to do this? And absolutely you want to do this because it is important in any aspect, in every aspect of our lives. So, that just 2 weeks ago, that was top of mind. We also had an ethical leadership seminar that we ran the weekend prior. We do things, certifications such as in PowerPoint training, Power BI, Lean Six Sigma, Scrum Master. So we are constantly thinking about what, once again, are today's MBAs needing to set them up for success. And admittedly, Matt, this, I know this, that the faculty members, as great as they can be about integrating new content into their classrooms, it is actually, I think, the department as a whole, and in fact, we have a dedicated professional development team member that can be much more agile when it comes to the skill sets that we can't always, or maybe that don't always neatly fit into the curriculum. And so being able to choose a program that has not only the faculty members who have written the textbooks on some of their course content, but of course then having the professional development that goes alongside that really supplants that, supports that, I think is really important. And so when you think about the student experience, it goes in the classroom to then beyond the classroom. And let me take a moment to say also that whether you're a full-time MBA student, an executive MBA student, an online MBA student, or a part-time MBA student that's here on the weekends, you have access to all of the professional development opportunities that we have to offer. So if you want to do additional certifications, you can most certainly do that. If you want to kind of, and I could spend hours talking about our experiential learning opportunities, but we have so many things to offer above and beyond the classroom. So certifications are one thing. Our in-residency seminars on, let's say, storytelling for impact or ethical leadership or generative AI. These are things that we are running concurrently to the curriculum that we have to offer. And that's just part of the flavor. The other part of that is there are other opportunities that you can connect as a student. You can go on our global immersion experiences. You can go to Washington, D.C. to participate in our business policy course. You can also spend a week in Manhattan doing a consulting project. So there is no shortage of opportunities to learn how you're applying what's in the classroom to the real world. And I would actually say that is the most applicable, facet of the MBA program. It's why an MBA degree is a terminal degree, is because it's applicable to any which industry or functional area. And so for the Warrington family, we are constant top of mind. How can we continue to invest in our students? Because they are our human capital of the future.
Right. From data skill sets and Lean Six Sigma through to improv and storytelling for impact. I mean, it's a wonderful breadth. You pack all of this in. And then you mentioned, of course, heading to DC and New York and global immersion, but you're based in Florida. And Florida has this sort of sweet spot. It's what, the third largest state, one of the fastest growing states with financial services and other industries that are flocking there. Why does that setting of Florida make it such a great place, not just to learn, but to play, to grow, and to work?
Yeah, no, and it's funny that you asked me that, Matt, right? Because I'm born and raised, born and bred here in Gainesville, Florida, where our main campus is. And so, there is a lot of tradition around the University of Florida, and so not only is Florida, as you said, the third largest state in population, but also, we are growing in industry. In fact, it's interesting because when you think about a full-time MBA program specifically, you think about where you're going to ultimately place. Where will you land? As you think about a part-time student, it's how will you how will you increase your network? And those are really actually two very important topics I want to bring up, because the network is massive here. We have over 13,000 MBA graduates to date. We have over 85,000 Warrington College of Business graduates, and we have over 500,000 Gators globally. Now, are they all here in the state of Florida? No, they aren't. But I think that demonstrates the breadth and the depth of the network that we have to offer. But here in the sunny state of Florida, we have a growing industry. And by and large, oftentimes I get the question about where are students ultimately placing, what types of industries or functional areas? Because oftentimes I think that Florida is deemed to be a little bit, apart or set aside from some major industries. And interestingly, I pulled our most recent data just to give you some perspective, but consulting, technology, and CPG was our biggest, placements for our full-time students. Now, were they all placing here in Florida? Not necessarily, but, the benefit of being able to do the Warrington MBA program is that you get to have time to invest in being in the sunny state of Florida. You get an opportunity to be here on campus, whether it be full-time or on a part-time basis. Even our online MBA students, we have them come to campus just for an on-site orientation, just so they can get a feel for what it means to be a Gator. And over the course of their enrollment, we continue to find ways to encourage students to come back to campus. In fact, in a few weeks around homecoming, we're doing our massive tailgate. We have over 800 current and enrolled and alums that will be coming back to campus just to hang out with us, to reconnect with us, and to hopefully get a win on in football. But we'll see. But I think what's the key point here is that with this growing state, we have so many large cities within a couple hour driving radius of Gainesville. And every city has their own flavor of different industry or functional areas or companies represented. And so, we're unique in that we can be right in the heart of Florida, and we can really be able to get a wide grasp of students from our various populations, from the various large cities. And you get to really get to know your peers, maybe who you never would have interacted with, that are just a couple of hours away. And so, and of course, we also offer our satellite facility down in South Florida in Broward County. We are in 2026 looking to open another part-time program option in Jacksonville, Florida. So we're constantly taking a pulse of our major markets and looking at the areas of growth and how we can continue to expand as a Warrington College of Business. But, Florida, as you said, it is a vibrant, diversified state, and we are constantly looking to bring students that are excited to add value to the larger MBA Warrington family.
So 500,000 Gators around the world, and truly a global network, tens of thousands of Warrington MBAs, and yet you and a very dedicated team at Warrington make it so personalized. Each individual is, you think about being the best business leader that you can be. So take us through some of the options. Full-time for those that want that residential student experience. You'd mentioned, of course, you've got this world-class online MBA, many part-time options, including maybe a new one that opens in the next couple of years. So how do you then help candidates to find the right fit, the right program for them?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I think that we are unique in that there aren't very many MBA program options out there, schools out there that offer as diversified of a portfolio that the Warrington College of Business offers. We offer three types of full-time MBA formats. The traditional 2-year program, it's our only option that allows for students to do a summer internship between year 1 and year 2. So that student who's really looking to make a career pivot, or they need some time to explore what they want to do when they graduate. I say that this is the crystal ball of our programs, right? Because it gives you an opportunity to kind of really explore who you are, what you want, and you can really utilize all of our inside the classroom and beyond and our career coaches to look at that crystal ball to figure out what it is that you want to do post-graduation. Although I will say most of our students, they never quite know what they want. I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, Matt. But this full-time 2-year program really gives students an opportunity to explore all of the MBA opportunities by doing that summer internship and going through multiple job-seeking recruiting cycles. It gives them that opportunity to really understand what it is that they want to do. And so we have that full-time 2-year program. But we also created accelerated formats for those that know exactly what they want to do and they want to maximize their return on investment. Oftentimes, if somebody knows what they want to do, they don't want to take 2 years off of their life to because of course, time value of money. They want to get in and get out as quickly as possible. And so we offer a 1-year all majors program, which is a 12-month program designed for any undergraduate major. And you graduate in exactly 1 calendar year. There are not very many programs out there that offer an accelerated format for those that do not have a business degree. So we take that first full summer and we jam pack it with all those foundational core business classes and some elective courses. So you have a very quick onboarding process, but thankfully, knock on wood, nobody has ever died of the curriculum thus far, how jam-packed it is. But, so in 1 calendar year, regardless of your undergraduate major, you can get in, you can get out, and you can return back to the workforce. And then the third option that we offer in our full-time portfolio is called our 1-year business majors program. This is even, a smaller, more unique set of program options that exist out there in the MBA ether. There aren't very many of these types of formats, but this is a 10-month. It is our shortest program duration, and that if you already have a business degree within the last 7 years and you've already taken the core business classes, you don't need to repeat them. We will, circumvent those courses and go into the upper level versions and elective courses so that really you have an opportunity to take a deep dive and fine-tune your business skill sets with only being out of the workforce for 1 or not even 1 year, for 10 months. And so those who have a clear understanding of what they want to do post-graduation, this is a great option for them. And I will tell you that regardless of the 2-year or one of our 1-year programs, we are very small by design. That, I would say, is our value prop to our full-time candidates. On average, we're only bringing in about a dozen 1-year all major students, about a dozen 1-year business major students, and about 35 to 40 2-year full-time MBA students. And Matt, why that's so important to say is because that is proof of how we invest in our students. About 99% of our students are on our full tuition scholarship. So not only are we financially funding our students to quit their jobs and be fully immersed in this MBA curriculum, because we believe that we have the phenomenal curriculum, we have our career coaches, we have our professional development team, all focused on building our full-time students. If you're going to make that investment to move to sunny Gainesville, Florida, for either 10, 12, or 2 years, we want to make sure that you're set up for success. And so part of that success also means having a dedicated career coach that will help each and every one of our students, even through the interview process, determine what are their post-career objectives. What do you want to do? Maybe you don't have that crystal ball, but we can help you get there. And so we have dedicated team members across all of our program formats to help our students kind of understand what they can do post-graduation, how to get there. And so, we have the scholarships, we have, also 7 concentrations that our full-time students can pursue to become subject matter experts, whether it be in business analytics, finance, operations, supply chain, strategy, you name it. We have concentrations so that our students can also, get even a deeper dive of the content in which they're hoping to explore in their business education.
That generosity of scholarships, I mean, the ROI of the program and the sort of career opportunities that you were describing on your doorstep in Florida and then across the rest of the country. So I'm reassured to know that nobody ever died from an intense curriculum, though that accounting exam in the first term, I don't know. I'm going to be knocking on the door of the Fisher School of Accounting to find someone to help me with that one. But with small cohorts as part of a much bigger community, you then have any number of clubs and associations and activities. So when the work stops, the play begins. How does that also then feed into such an enriching experience?
Yeah, we say that if you're looking to hide in an MBA program, we are not the program for you. We say this time and time again, you start as an MBA student, you leave as an MBA family. And that's something that we really pride ourselves on because, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. We want students to roll up their sleeves, embrace it. But it's also about learning, as I said, from your peers. And so much of learning from your peers isn't just in the classroom, but it's learning, growing, playing with your peers as well. And so, when you think about the beyond the classroom experience, you touch on a great point. That includes all of the clubs and organizations. If you have an interest in the finance club or the consulting club, or, if you want to take a deeper dive and participate in our case competitions, you're welcome to do so. We have our MBA association that oversees all of our clubs. I swear, Matt, every day there is a calendar ping that I get about some team or club meeting. There is constant, support and collaboration and, shared thought amongst our students. And some of that is not only based on kind of what their interests are from an academic side, but a lot of times it's philanthropic and volunteer and altruistic in nature. And so a lot of times our students will find ways to give back to the Gainesville community. And so they'll do service projects together. The most recent one, they went and did a park cleanup. And so there are ways in which our students can give back to the local community. And of course, part of the local community is also having fun. And so, our students will go to football games together. Of course, as a UF MBA student, whether you're a full-time or one of our part-time students, you have access to student football tickets. So don't fret. You most certainly can participate in some of the real swamp experience. But our students will go to, not only Florida Gator gaming events, football, volleyball, you name it, sporting events, but also, I would say our students also have a knack for just getting together. They do game nights together. They travel together. We do midwinter break, or we do a fall break and then a spring break. And in fact, even though these fall and spring breaks, sometimes students are just going to go out and have fun and explore some other parts of the state of Florida. Oftentimes, students will choose that opportunity to go on our global immersion experiences to get a little bit of that course curriculum in addition to a global perspective as well. And so, there's no shortage of events to participate in. And in fact, today and yesterday, we're doing a Warrington Career Showcase here on campus. So we have all these corporate recruiters here on campus, and our students, not only are they kind of walking the floor of the career showcase to learn more about these companies, but they're doing it. In fact, I stopped by yesterday. They're doing it in pairs, in teams, so that they can be advocates for one another. So even when they're not in class, even when they're not doing game nights or trivia nights or whatever they're doing, they're looking for ways to support one another. And I think that's actually a really special thing. Whether it's the Friendsgivings or the Woodsers or MBA prom, there are so many different ways in which our students have fun and really foster their relationships. And we see time and time again, our students stay connected even after they graduate, and they continue to do things, whether they be mini reunions or they participate in one another's life events, whether it be weddings or birthdays or things like that. And so the celebration, of one another starts kind of at orientation as everybody made it through. Then it continues as they all survived accounting. And then it continues as students get their first job offers or interview, offers or internship offers, I mean. And so there is no shortage of ways in which our students really connect and they get to share this MBA experience with one another.
So there's something for everyone, and it's a program or programs for everyone. Because of course, the efforts that you make in terms of diversity in the business school classroom, that pipeline of applicants, not just those that did business at undergrad, but whether it's academic, professional, you do a lot for underrepresented groups. Perhaps you can share some of the initiatives to ensure that diversity that arrives at Warrington every year.
Yeah. So there are a few different avenues in which we try to recruit, for our future populations of MBA students. And in fact, here at Warrington, we focus on inclusive excellence. And so whether that's partnering with Forte Foundation or our recruit military organizations or, UFMBA, we were one of the largest school sponsors of National Black MBA Career Showcase. We do things with Jumpstart. And so we're constantly thinking of how there are other ways and pockets in which we can ensure that everybody's voice is heard at the conference table, right? And so that is a really important, breaking that glass ceiling. And so, in fact, Matt, in a couple of months, around Women's International Women's Day, we're doing a Women's MBA conference here at the Warrington College of Business, and we're bringing back distinguished alums and current students to come talk about their leadership strategy and to be able to give back and mentorship to our students who have just started their journey. And so my goal with the MBA program is how can I find ways to recruit more students with this notion of inclusive excellence, whether it be our veterans or active duty or, some of our other underrepresented minorities, how do we bring and create and breed more women CEOs? And that is something core to what I think as an admissions director, I have to start doing so that we can see it in the classroom, so that we can see it in the boardrooms for years to come.
So I promised our viewers that we try to answer this question of what it means to be a Gator. If I ask that question, whether of a current student, someone that's out of the program 3 years, 23 years, what sort of things do you think that they would share that they really identify with being a Gator?
Yeah, the Gator Nation is everywhere, Matt. And I think there is a sense of pride. There's a sense of there's so much fun around this school. I think sometimes people think that especially business schools can be scary and that going back to school can be scary, but there's so much fun that we have embedded within, what we do as Gators. As I said, there's so many outside of the classroom opportunities that you can participate in. And so I think there's pride, but there's excitement. It's, as you know, I travel a lot for my role, and there isn't a single time in which I'm in some airport where somebody sees, UFM MBA or UF or a Gator, on something that I'm traveling with, and they yell out, "Go Gators." It is, such a special, almost a magical feeling how many Gators are out there globally. In fact, we took a group of students to Athens last year, and on one of the small islands day trip, we went to this restaurant, and literally, Matt, there was somebody with a Warrington Gator shirt just sitting, having lunch. And we're like, what is the likelihood that this would happen? So it's hard to describe, but there is something magical about the Gator Nation and the camaraderie, the pride, the traditions that go around being a Gator. And that's something that for years to come, our students can feel, and they continue to feel as they're supporting future Gators and helping to recruit future Gators.
Well, the viewers of Centre Court come from all over the world, maybe even small islands in Greece. We'd love to record Centre Court sitting next to them in that restaurant. But for anyone that would wants to become a Gator, to become part of that nation, just a final few words, perhaps of advice of connecting with the team, finding out more, finding out the right fit.
Yes. So I am always available. My team, we are always available. I constantly joke here, on Center Court that I will gladly give my personal cell, my email address to anybody. Please reach out. We have a plethora. We do virtual online info sessions every week. I host events here on campus. In fact, last week I just hosted an MBA open house. This week I'm doing a GMAT boot camp here in Gainesville, Florida. There is no shortage of events. I also am on the road a lot. Come have coffee with me or one of my team members. We do coffee chats, but I would say, go to our website. You'll see my direct contact information. Reach out. Let's start the conversation of determining which program format would be best for you. As you said, Matt, we offer a broad portfolio of program formats. Maybe a full-time option is the best fit for you. Maybe an online option is the best fit for you. And I can help you determine which one will be the best option for you to become a Gator.
Right. And whether in an airport or in a restaurant, if any of you viewers see a UF MBA t-shirt, first thing is to shout out Go Gators, then go talk with them. And why
Absolutely. Do a little Gator chomp.
well, it's always such a pleasure to have you on Centre Court and share that passion. It's such a dynamic school and great to be able to share that. Thank you, Naz, for another wonderful recording. And I guess you'll be hearing from all of our viewers very, very soon.
Sounds great. Thank you for the opportunity.